Hello, everyone. This is Connie Ashburn, your National Field Development Director, and I am re-recording our leaders training from Tuesday night. Just had some recording issues, and so I think we've got it figured out now. So I'm actually going through a re-record process for you. So I am ready. I hope you are as well, and thank you to those that listened live, and glad some of you that are interested enough to listen to the recording. So I just want to start out with recognition for March and certainly wish congratulations to all of our top achievers for the month. First of all, congratulations to all of our Ireland achievers. So in the far left column, we've got the trip earners for 2. And then the next 3 columns are our trip earners for 1. So congratulations to all of you. I wish that I could read all of your names, but it would take a little bit too much time. So I just think this is going to be an amazing experience and can't wait to be there with all of you. And just congratulations to you and to your achievement, and certainly for this incredible experience that Pink Zebra is bringing your way. So next I want to introduce some of our new promotions and our newest senior managers. So our first one is Amanda Lisberg. So congratulations to her and that beautiful smile she has and her family in the background. And then Danielle Glasgow, very, very awesome. So glad to see her as a senior manager. And Mary White, who is pictured in the middle. I couldn't find a picture of her with just her, but congratulations to her as one of our newest senior managers as well. Then congratulations to our newest managers. So we have Amber Orton, Ashley Goshorn, I hope I said your name right, Ashley, Ileana Merced, Karen Snur, Kelsey Berger, Lyda Litke, Natalie Jessen, and Peggy Wagner. So congratulations to this first level of leadership, and hope to see you advancing even further as you go down the road. So then we have our newest executive consultants. Again, I'm not going to read all these names. They will be printed in the newsletter that will come out at the middle of this month. But we just want to welcome all of you to that EC status, and congratulations on the beginning of building your team. So then we have our top 50 in personal sales volume. Shannon Stewart comes in at number 1 with an impressive 10,173. Jessica Washington in second place with 6,704. Amanda Lisberg, our newest senior manager, 6,524. Krista Clay at 5,393. Tiffany Bender at 5,387. And I guess I'm going to read the other 2 that were above 5,000. Jennifer Byram at 5,237 and Kathy Tedders at 5,109. And certainly congratulations to all of the others here that have reached the top 50. That's quite an achievement. And then we go on to our top in personal sponsoring. Number 1 is Karen Esposito with 13. Trina Morrison with 7 in the second place. In third place, Krista Clay with 6. And tied in fourth place is Alicia Norton, Crystal Kelly, and Mary Bondurant and Tricia Bondurant, each with 5. And then tied for fifth place is Carrie Ann Baltzel and Denise Talbot with 4. And then we've got the next group with 3. And then, of course, many others that has sponsored 2 for the month. So congratulations to all of you. And then we have this newest recognition category that we're doing, and then we started this last month, and it's the top 50 in personal year-to-date SV. So that's from July 1st, of course, 2018 through the end of March 19. So I'm not going to read those names. You can just quickly look and see, and they will be printed in the newsletter as well. And if any of these have actually graduated from Bash Camp, which most have, you are considered a Pink Sapphire or have earned that Pink Sapphire status, which of course will be awarded at reunion in July. So congratulations to all of you, and there are several others beyond that top 50 that are above that 15,000 mark for this year that also will be in the running for Pink Sapphire status, if they did graduate from Bash Camp. Okay, so just congratulations to everyone's achievements. And as I always say, no matter what contribution you've made, if you met a goal or you achieved something that you set out to achieve, absolutely, we applaud you. And I want you to celebrate yourself because, you know, being in that top group, of course, is a great thing. But if you are really reaching what you set out to achieve in the business, then you need to be really happy about that and celebrate that. So congratulations. We have a few announcements to make. A reunion, a very top 20,000-foot overview of what's happening. The theme this year is Share the Energy. The 19th begins Leaders Day, where we have a all-day trip to the Grand Canyon and Sedona, Arizona. That's going to be an amazing experience. The reunion itself begins on the 20th, and we have an early reveal breakfast. I think that's going to be by invitation. Our speaker is Laura Cole, which many of you know, and we do a product reveal. We've got some new tools that we're going to be announcing that day, so that's going to be an exciting day. And then the 21st is the state of the company address that Tom will, of course, give. And we have an outside speaker again, Justin Pierce, who was recommended by one of our consultants, and so he's going to be a great addition to our speaking team. And we have 8 workshops in the afternoon that will be all kinds of topics to really just help you be better at your business. So the Paisley Awards ceremony and the After Paisley's party is going to be that night, and we have an 80s neon theme, so we're going to have fun with that. So Bash Camp number 5 is at the halfway mark. We are actually starting week 4 this week, and it does end on April 25th and will be the final one before reunion. The fall rally date we did announce last month, but just a reminder, it's Saturday, October 5th. And then our upcoming Pink Sapphire tours, I'm going to be in Sanford, Florida on the 15th of April, and that following week on Tuesday, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and on Wednesday, Corning, New York. So can't wait to see all of the consultants in those areas that have registered to attend that were invited, of course. So now we just want to ask, we're asking for your help. So even though the blue blend bashes are sold out, you and your teams can still help us to reach our donation goal of $20,000 by selling the Hope Collection products, as well as this awesome puzzle piece shade. This shows that we were at 14,535. As of yesterday morning, we were over 15,000. So I don't know our exact number at this moment, but we are certainly moving towards that 20,000 goal. So we are well stocked on these shades and certainly could use your help in getting the word out that they directly benefit our fundraising efforts to raise that additional, now less than $5,000, and just being part of the awareness campaign that we have going on this month. So success to everybody that has contributed and made this all a reality. So I just want to just cover this quickly. This was a challenge from last month's training, and I'm not going to ask, of course, any input on this one, but, you know, did you actually listen to the training and then make some changes as a result of it? So nothing is going to change in your business if you're not willing to make some adjustments as you listen to these trainings and learn some new tips. So just wanted to kind of bring that up to see if there's anything that you've done to really change that new consultant experience and increase their success odds. So now we're going to talk about create a compelling vision for you and your team. So that's our topic for tonight. So we'll jump into that. So the most often asked question that I actually get is, and it was when I was in the field and even here, is how do I keep my team motivated? And I certainly heard that same question when I was leading teams. The age old, just how do I keep my team motivated it comes up so often. So I'm going to attempt to just help with that just a little in this training. And it's challenging because it involves people and they're unpredictable and they're inconsistent. So our job is really to help new consultants or consultants in general figure out their inner motivation, since we know that motivating others really is something that comes from within. So we can inspire, but we can't always motivate. So it's something that we need to kind of help them figure out. So if you can tap into it, it can be a game changer, I can tell you for sure. And I know I said the training was about compelling vision, so let's just take a look at how developing a vision can directly relate to keeping your team in the game. So what does it take to keep someone motivated? I'm going to pinpoint 3 main things. First, be realistic when you're sponsoring team members. This is not a wholesale buyers club. It's not a deal to purchase a business kit, even though it is a good deal. And it does require work and time and commitment to be successful. So we've talked about this before, and that you can't tell someone nothing is required other than $150 in a rolling 6-month period and really expect them to be your next rock star. And it doesn't mean that someone that, you know, identifies themselves as maybe being a kidnapper can't go on to do something bigger and better, no doubt. We had a perfect example of that in that Nicole Vignano from Canada. And Nicole, I probably just butchered your name, but I know you all have kidnappers like this and could have been one yourself. So Nicole joined completely as a kidnapper. She will admit that, no question, but she had such an easy time sharing the products and getting a great response. She went for it. So she's being featured as this month's Dazzling Pink Sapphire, as she sold over 18,000 since mid-July, and she earned a trip to Ireland. So just be sure that you're making the options available to everyone, making sure that mentioning building a business to create consistent income is one of them. So basically, if you can, you know, if you kind of get this sense that maybe they're not going to go out there and do a lot of parties, at least let them know what's possible. So next is really getting a clear vision of, I need to go back to that. Next is really getting a clear vision of what they want from the business, and it helps them and it helps you. So that can be accomplished with a series of questions, of course, best when asked when they first join. If you can connect them to a vision of what they want to accomplish, to a strong reason to really make that happen, I can tell you your chances of achieving success with them is going to be much, much greater. So lastly, helping them to really identify where in their life the business is going to fit in, because we typically sponsor busy people, and if we don't clear some space, help them do that and see where they can fit this business in, sometimes it just doesn't fit in. So I will say that I don't know if this questionnaire will help or not, but I did upload it to files already for anyone that may want to use it. And it really just helps to begin building that relationship as you ask some of these questions. There are times, honestly, I would have asked all of them, and sometimes I just pick and choose depending on the time frame that I've got available to sit and talk with a new consultant. So hopefully some of these will help you and certainly will help your team as well. And I just also want to talk about you specifically. So we're going to get to that in just a second. So this training is honestly, as I said, more about you than it is about them. So I found that as leaders that you either get disconnected from the reason you joined, or it has changed since you started and you never take the time to reflect on it once you're in the business. So I tried to revisit my reason every year or two, and it's certainly changed over the years. I started out with this extreme desire to show women that they had choices. And after leaving a very demanding corporate job, spending 50 plus hours a week away from our daughters, and realizing that I could have a business working from home that allowed me to satisfy my professional need and really be a good mom and role model for my kids, I wanted everyone to know something like this existed. I was almost silly about it. But it turned out, as time went on, it turned out really into empowering women in a bigger way and really helping others to achieve their best, with the business being a vehicle to become what they wanted. So it was really about making people aware that they did have choices. There's so many people that I crossed paths with that felt like they were stuck in their jobs. They had no other choices. So being a businesswoman with the luxury of working from home really just became kind of my thing. And our team motto that I've shared before, I think, was stay at home, work at home, play at home. So I wanted people to see that, you know, being at home is not such a bad thing, and there's lots of things that can go on there. So let's really talk about you. I want this training to be about you and your vision, and going through the process for yourself will also help you to go through it with your team. And if you take it seriously and truly explore why you chose this career path and what you hope to achieve with it, it will help you to stay motivated yourself, of course. And when you're feeling that lack of motivation hitting you, sometimes those things are going to really help to, you know, lay back on that. So there are so many questions that I could ask you. So if we were sitting down across from each other, I would have lots of things I would say, but I just chose these few. So why did you choose specifically to work in this field? And really give that some thought. What specific life changes are you really dreaming of? And maybe some have already happened for you. How will your life be different as a result? And really be specific about that and write the ways down and revisit that list. That's so key. And when you really kind of figure this out, if you give some serious time to these questions, create a picture or a visual around that vision. And I'm going to explain to you why that's going to make such a difference in a few minutes. So on the call, we actually, oh shoot, what did I miss here? Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I just have to text her. I have a little note to myself. So I've talked about the power of self-affirmations several times and how your brain cannot distinguish between what is real and what is fabricated. What you tell it, it will believe. So if you say you can't do something, you are absolutely right. So, but this tidbit information that I found really explains it more. I never really understood why creating a visual was such an important element in achieving goals. And just think about this. How many times have any of you done vision boards? I don't know if any of you have or not, but it's one of the most powerful things, honestly, that I first did when I started direct sales. And I actually went to a weekend retreat in Western Michigan with about 15 to 20 women. We stayed in this cabin, but we were asked to create our vision board and then explain in front of everybody why it meant so much to us. And I had never, ever done anything like that in the many years in the corporate world with my job. But I remember being in the center of the group, sharing mine, and honestly, I cried through most of it. So it was kind of crazy. But it struck such a chord with me that I could actually create the life that I wanted and be home with our daughters as well. So reading this piece about us having 3 brains just really makes sense to me. So when you think about this, the reptilian brain is the physiological functions like breathing and heartbeat. So those things that are just automatically happening. Well, it's actually not automatically happening. Your brain is making that happen. But the neocortex brain is what understands language and does our conscious thinking. The mammalian brain does not understand language. It only understands pictures. So those unconscious thoughts that are laying back there that we're like visualizing in our mind and emotions, they all live here. Creating a picture of your goal achievement really speaks the language of this brain, and as a result, you will feel it in your body, according to the testing and all the things that they have done. So engaging your mammalian brain is really what gives you the drive to move forward despite the odds. Very interesting, in my opinion. So hold on one second. Want to make sure that I'm getting everything I need. Okay, so some of you may have already figured this out. Some of you may need to revisit yours, while others may not have given this any thought at all. So I attended a Marsha Weeder weekend conference years ago, and I'm going to touch on that in a few minutes. But this quote is from her book, Making Your Dreams Come True is the name of the book. Of course, the quote you can see, you've got to have a dream if you want to make a dream come true. So just be honest. When you think of dreams, you probably think of dreams like puffy little clouds in the sky. They're beautiful, but not always reachable. So Marsha really describes dreams as fond hopes, aspirations to conceive of or devise. And her tips for making those dreams come true: first, obviously get clear about what your dream is. Second is remove the obstacles, especially the limiting beliefs. This is huge in our business. Life gets in the way, and when things get busy, the business seems to be the first thing that suffers, and the limiting beliefs is where fear dominates and stops all of us from achieving what we're capable of. And I just remember fear even sabotaging my ability to sponsor, and then I was afraid to set expectations with those that I did sponsor for fear that they would leave. So it wasn't until I realized that setting expectations really improved the result. It didn't drive them away, and I started to feel very comfortable telling them how key it was to get out and work fast and furious in their first 6 weeks, no matter what their long-term intentions for the business were. So in that example, I'm just going to share that if someone told me they wanted to do 1 or 2 parties a month, I would really say for the first 6 weeks, I'd like to see you do a party a week, because that'll give you an opportunity to see what's possible, and you're going to get better at it if you do more parties in quicker. And then once that time was over, then they could adjust their schedule to whatever they wanted. But they may have found that doing 1 party a week could work for them. So I just didn't really understand how they could really see if the business could be more if they just never tested it. So the third thing is design the simple steps to make your dreams happen. So this may be, this may seem to be suggesting that this is simple, and honestly, it should be. So if you're very clear about where you're going, then figuring out how to get there just becomes easier. So I actually, on the actual call, invited Michelle Hurd to join us. And I am sad that I cannot get her to be on here to share her personal message with you. And maybe I'll figure a way to record her to do that at a later point, because she has gotten very serious about going for director. And she actually contacted one of her director buddies, Christy, and had her go through her tree view and just see, am I ready? And Christy felt like she was. So Michelle decided to take this into her own hands and really create a vision for those people on her team that were going to be key to the promotion. So she actually took the leadership map, she went through their tree review reports, and actually figured out for them what they needed to do, exactly what they needed to do to get to that next level, of course, that she is hoping to advance them to, so that that directorship can happen. So she's really created a visual for them. She's all gone through a plan with them. She's contacted each person and actually discussed it with them. So she really has this entire thing mapped out and creating this incredible vision for her team, plus this whole concept of them all working together to become that director team. So I'm very excited for them. We'll all be pulling for them, of course, but this is a great example of how creating a vision and a plan for the team can really help people move forward. And the bottom line of it is, when something like this is going on, everybody gets kind of the excitement of what is going on in her team, and she shares it much better than I do. But anyway, thank you to Michelle for sharing that, and obviously being brave and putting this out there that she was going for that this month. Okay, so I'm sharing this form with you once again so you don't forget it. Spend some time answering these questions for yourself. I really encourage you to do that. You may find out something that you had not considered before, and you may enjoy just sharing some of your responses with your team members as you go through this with them. So I would encourage you to do that, of course. So I'm sure most of you have things that you want to achieve or an income level that you dream about that just has not happened yet. So consider this question with sincere honesty. Are you more committed to remain where you are or going to where you want to be? Really think about that. I find many times we as leaders get complacent. Maybe we're frustrated. We haven't advanced as quickly as we thought. The team hasn't performed the way we envisioned. Maybe we've even gotten ourselves into a rut or a routine that's just not serving us well. So consider your outside influencers, whether it's people that are chipping away at your belief or volunteer opportunities have become just over the top. And you could be losing the support of what once was a supportive spouse. I just found many times, because I work with a lot of women in my years, that happened when the leader was saying yes to every volunteer opportunity possible and then trying to fit the business into any nook and cranny that was available. And the stress on the family was just becoming obvious, and they weren't really achieving the goals that they set out to achieve. So people started to not believe that this was even potentially possible for them. So the business tends to be the scapegoat for every single issue, I can tell you, when in reality, we just may be saying yes to too many things. And when I made the decision to stay at home, I signed up for gardening classes and cooking classes and every school function. You know what happens. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. So once I joined direct sales and I really was trying to, make a business out of it and achieve some financial goals when I got to that point, and then trying to balance all of it with all the volunteering I was doing, I just realized I would never achieve anything if I didn't give my business a chance and create some space for it. So I learned I could say no if it didn't directly serve my kids or really help me to meet my business goals. Those were two things I asked myself every time those opportunities came up. So I became a little more selfish with my time, and I started saying, you know what, I just have to work that day, so I'm sorry, I just can't help out. And I didn't stop everything. I'm not suggesting you do that. I just stopped saying yes to all of it. So this passion period is from Marsha Weeder's book that I mentioned earlier. It's what helped me to work from the bottom up instead of working from the top down. So I did my business from the right pyramid for years, thinking about my purpose with little thought, maybe giving a little time to thinking about my dreams for my business, and then making a list of all those things, which of course are your projects that I had to do to just manage the business, and then spending a major part of my time scheduling that stuff. So whether it was coaching calls and meetings and trainings and newsletters and all that stuff, but I was always feeling like I was out of control and working all the time. And I'm sure you guys can absolutely relate to that. So that shifted when I attended a weekend retreat with Marsha Weeder, and we spent an afternoon just working on our purpose. And that became the foundation for everything else. So on the left side, if you look at that, I mean, when I started on that, mine started out being a paragraph, my purpose. Then she coached us to get it down to like 1 to 2 or 1 paragraph. And then it was like 1 to 2 sentences until finally, after chipping away at it, at the real gist of what I was trying to do, and everybody in the room, of course, it became one very short statement, and actually mine was 2 words. So mine settled out with to be, or the words were to inspire. That was it. So it became my purpose in everything that I did. And she's the one that shifted my thinking from working from the bottom up of the pyramid, starting with that foundation on your purpose to really help you in making the decisions. So it then allowed me to build my dream, one of which was to retire my husband before our oldest daughter graduated from high school, and that did happen. So those dreams just fueled my business building activities, or those projects as we look at. I then figured out how many hours per week that I wanted to work. So that's really a big key. And then scheduling became how to fit in what was key to that dream in the hours that I chose. Doesn't mean I didn't exceed them sometimes. I can tell you that I did. But instead of me making a list of everything that I wanted to do and trying to figure out when to get it done, it totally changed everything for me. So you'd be amazed at how creative you can be with scheduling coaching calls and creating business buddies and pace partners. It really just maximizes your time. All things that I was previously just all over the place with, and some of these decisions that I made and choices that I made because I was not letting the schedule drive me, really changed my business. So this one thing honestly changed everything for me. And not that I still didn't, like I said, feel a little chaotic at times, but it was so much more infrequent. So really looking at why, consider the reasons or the reasons that you wanted to become a leader in the first place. So if you think about why, maybe you wanted to make a difference in others' lives. If that's what you became a leader for, how you can do that is by investing in them. Some of the things you've already talked about with helping with their vision and the plan. If you became a leader because you wanted to help others create income on their terms, that was my big thing, you can do that by helping them build their vision and show them the way. If you became a leader because you wanted more from your career than a traditional job offers, then go for experiences like Ireland, the Final Four, which of course was a drawing, but you had to be engaged and do something in order to be a part of that. And really thinking about making it impacting and building up others for them to achieve some of those things as well. Maybe you became a leader because you wanted or you needed Pink Zebra to be your primary income source. How you do that is really decide what that's going to take, and with enough commitment to that goal, and that means setting aside some things that you might be doing now that you have to change your life for, you can achieve it here. Maybe you became a leader just for recognition. So I would just suggest that you become a good consultant and don't give up. Maybe you became a leader because you envision yourself in boots. That was a big deal for you and you want the perks of leadership. So map out a plan. Just visualize yourself crossing stage in those custom boots and walking the red carpet in Sugarland. That's what that SL stands for when you take that director trip. That's one of those things that could be on your vision board in a big way. If you joined or if you became a leader to believe that you can really, because you're one of those people that believes you can achieve anything, moving through the career plan might be really important to you. So again, how you do that is if you want advancement, you figure out your next move. So wherever you may be today, what is it going to take you to move to that next rank, and figure that out, what it's going to actually take to make that happen. Maybe you became a leader because you just understand that you can accomplish more through others. And so that means just getting serious about helping others achieve more. That means creating a vision for them, offering some training. You know, I like to say a little tough love, because sometimes we let these consultants off too easy when they tell us they're going to do something and they don't, and then we try to recover for them, or we're constantly feeling like we've got to fill in all the gaps or come up with all the answers. Sometimes we just have to shove them out of the nest and let them prove themselves before we come back and really start working with them again. So there's many reasons all of you do this business, and it's not always financial. And if it is, however, maybe these tips will help you. So I'm sure any of you that are above the manager level, your overrides may already be exceeding your personal sales commission. For any of you that it's not, that could be your first goal. And it certainly was one of mine, big time. So my dream of actually earning $10,000 a month, that dream came when I attended a leadership retreat with my company from obviously leaders from all over the country. And one of the leaders shared that her check was that month before was over $10,000. And when she shared it, I asked her, I said, what, Cindy, did you do with all that money? And she said, I spent it. I mean, it was just like, so like, I just spent it. So I thought, if she can do this, I certainly can. And I can tell you that I went on and did. So how you go about this process is build a strong personal business. Keep this as a priority, because this is what gets you in front of enough people so you can keep your sponsoring growing, which of course is going to grow your team, which is going to build your volume. It's all of those things work hand in hand together. So consistently sponsor from those activities that you do. So whether it's parties, events, parties on the go, Facebook parties, whatever, always be intentional and focused on that sponsoring activity. Then, of course, once you sponsor them, you need to train them. It's just part of the responsibility when sponsoring them. The company pays you an override on their sales, and that is just not free money. That is money that is being paid to you to train a person to be successful in this business. So then, of course, as you work with some of them and train them, you're going to find some of those people are going to rise to the top. So identify those that can articulate a vision or a goal when you go through some of these exercises with them. And then look for those that really do engage. They get on calls, they come to your trainings, they're consistent with their sales, whatever the case might be. They're always asking questions. People would always say to me, I'm so sorry to bother you, but when they're asking questions, I know they're engaged and I know they're interested. So those are always good signs. And then, of course, you build volume through your personal sales. Those people going for quick start, and as you develop leaders, they're obviously going for income goals. That's what helps you to build volume. So if you don't have new people coming in and you're not developing leaders, the chances of you really developing or building volume is going to be small. So just a few tips to wrap up for tonight, or now today, because it's actually afternoon. You can read these easy enough, of course. There's no rocket science here, but I really want to encourage you to stay the course. And as a leader, one of your main keys is to keep your personal business strong and do whatever it takes to be rank qualified. That means reaching the maintenance requirements of your rank, or better yet, start to exceed it to get paid at that rank. So if it's at 5,000 because you're a manager and you do that a couple of months in a row, start setting a goal to do 6,000 and keep building on that. Don't sit in a leadership position and not gain the financial benefits of being there. So being paid at your rank should be a non-negotiable, in my opinion. And if you're not reaching it right now, that's your first order of business after this call, is to really figure out what it's going to take to achieve that. So reach out and ask for help if you need a strategy, because there are people that will help you. So just be aware of that. So one of the things it says on there is it says confidence in you. And the formula in that, of course, confidence comes from know-how, which means it can be learned. And the great thing about this business is everything you need to be successful is a learned skill. So if you invest in yourself, whether it's the trainings, books, direct sellers, blogs, whatever it may be, you will learn. And then that know-how comes from experience, and experience comes from getting out there and doing it. And last but not least, do not give up. The only way that you can fail in this business is by doing just that. So don't give up. So I just wanted to share this quick message that Tom shared in our staff meeting it was on Tuesday morning now. What a great position that we are in with this changing marketplace. So I just thought I would share this with all of you, because if you were at Reunion last summer, he shared a lot about this in his address. But it's becoming more and more apparent how we stand out in the world of social media. And Facebook is going to do nothing but make it tougher for everyone to promote their businesses for free on that platform. So we know as well that retailers are struggling just getting people in their stores. So where do we really fit in this whole direct sales party plan world? I mean, being in direct sales, just think about what other brand or product really comes into your home or a consumer's home, who that you have ever shopped with that's not in direct sales, of course, has ever attempted to build a relationship with you, like really build a relationship with you. And what other company provides a fun, interactive party experience? I mean, other than obviously party plan companies, even birthday parties and showers and all that kind of stuff. A friend of mine just had a pink zebra candle making party for her 13-year-old daughter and her friends, and they absolutely loved it. So it's so cool that our business can work in so many different ways. So remember that there's not many businesses that can duplicate what we do, and certainly not provide the kind of customer service that we do. If you are doing that, of course, and if you're not, you need to add that. So I just wanted to tell you to be proud of the business that you're a part of, and proudly share it with others to give them the chance to be part of this industry too. And I'm not worried at all about parties being a thing of the past. I think completely the opposite, that it's only going to get better as online shopping becomes bigger, because people will be seeking those chances to come together. And you are in a great place, especially with Blend Bash leading the way, being the kind of party that is interactive and creates that social experience like nothing else does. So, of course, we want to always end the call or the training with a challenge. And I just want to say that nothing happens with what you hear and learn unless you apply it, of course. So figure out your compelling vision. That's your challenge. Really use whatever resources that you need to, but give this some time. So whether you're an experienced leader or you're a fairly new one, doesn't matter. Take some time to really consider your compelling vision. Second, consider how you can incorporate a deeper conversation with those that join your team and help them to dream a little bit as well. And then take the next step and find some existing team members that you can do this with too. So how many of them really are out there looking for something more? You could just really truly be holding the answer that they've been looking for, and they just haven't had that conversation with you. And it might not be somebody, of course, that you personally sponsored. So really help them to create a vision for that. So this is actually nothing to do with our topic tonight, but it was a website that I heard about from a friend of mine that is in direct sales. It says that it's a virtual venue for direct sales events, and it basically gets you away from Facebook, or for those that don't use Facebook at all. So she actually went to a leaders conference, and they were all talking about it, so I thought I would share it with you. I have no details on it whatsoever. It's really up to you to check it out if you are intrigued by what that homepage tells you. When we did the live call, there were several leaders that commented on that they have attended some of these parties through SQUE, and others that were going to actually start using it and testing it out. So it's SQWEEE.com. So SQUE is how it's pronounced, but just thought I would throw that out there as potentially a new tool for some online parties if that's something that you want to add to your, or that you already are part of your business plan. So that wraps us up for tonight for April's Leaders webinar, and I'll be, of course, now I'm going to post this recording that you're listening to, and I cannot wait to see some of you in Ireland. I'm actually extending a week with my husband, and my daughter and son-in-law are coming, so I will not be back until May 18th. So that just moves our next Leaders webinar to Tuesday, May 21st, and then followed in June by Tuesday, May 11th. So I just want to also mention that they're always posted in the Leaders Facebook page. So normally the day before I do a reminder, and under announcements, once the Zoom is set up, that link is always in there in addition to the Facebook page as well. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and have a great week. Thanks for joining me.